Greetings, humanity, and welcome to Channel Otherdoc. I am Jim. I use he/him pronouns, and this is our short campaign of Blades in the Dark. This is a fantasy game by John Harper about a crew of shady characters operating in a haunted industrial-era city that sits under a blanket of perpetual night. We're going to go ahead and go around and say who we are and who we're playing. Tonight we'll be starting with Speedy. Hello.
Hello, good to be here. My name is Speedy, and I will be playing as Grift, our lovely little lurk.
Excellent. And now we will head over to Hollow. Hello.
Hello, I'm Hollow. I use he/him pronouns, and I will be playing Thistle, our cutter.
Awesome. Unfortunately, Noctua could not be with us tonight. There is a slight chance she might jump in later, and so if that happens, that'll be awesome. But we shall see. Lifes, and but hopefully all is well, and she shall be back next time. But before I hand things over to our GM, you may see us use safety tools from time to time, like we do with the other games on this channel. We're going to be using the X card, the N card, and the O card. If we hit something that's crossing a line for one of us, any of us can type an X in the Zoom video chat or anywhere else, or like hold up a card or make an X symbol, and we'll back up and do something else. If something happens that we're okay having in the game, but we don't want a graphic description of it, we can type an N in the Zoom chat and we'll fade to black on it or put it behind a veil, so it'll be there, but we won't go into detail. Finally, if we're exploring a topic or an area of roleplay that's particularly intense for us, but we want to keep going anyway, we put an O in the chat to let us know we're all okay and that we're good to keep piling on the drama. Something else we can do is put an O with a question mark after it when we're moving into a difficult topic, or if we say or we do something and then think maybe that might have been a little too much, then everyone else can respond to that again with an X, an N, or an O to let us know if we're still doing okay. We're also using the pause. If any of us needs to take some time, we can ask for a pause in the game while we discuss things, or just take a break for as long as anyone needs. As a reminder, just a few content warnings. This game may contain references to violence, darkness, law enforcement, crime, betrayal, deceit, and the supernatural. If at any time you're watching live on Twitch and you want to see that coming up in chat, you can type !Blades CW. If I can remember how to spell. There we go. And that will pop up there. That'll also show up regularly on rotation. Let's see. Also, please remember that we have an open door policy, which means that any of us and any of you can feel free to step away from this at any time if we need to. It is just a game, and mental health is always more important. Oh yes, I forgot to mention that tonight I am playing Professor Sharkey, the leech, and he also uses he/him pronouns. And now I shall hand things over to our GM, Brian. Hello.
Hello, I'm Brian. My pronouns are he/him, and we quick recap. What happened last time was at the end of the last downtime phase, Weaver specifically was approached by a couple of agents of the Hive, which is the mercantile/criminal organization that runs Night Market, which is where your turf is. And they mentioned that there is the church has been prowling around Night Market a lot more recently, most likely because of some of a specific thing that all of you did. They had some books that they no longer have, and I wonder who it was that stole them. So now they are looking for, apparently, either the books or the people that stole them. And the Hive doesn't like this because the Hive doesn't want the church messing around in their stuff. So they have asked you to look into this. And they suspect that the church has a surveillance device of some sort, which is definitely going to be bad for business, not just for you, but also for the Hive. So in a little bit of enlightened self-interest, they said, the last place we know it was over here. And then all of you did some digging, and I believe it was Grift who wisely pointed out that if ghosts were going to be involved. None of you are exactly ghost people, although Grift is sort of a ghost person, but that's only because Grift can step into the ghost realm.
I like ghosts.
Yes.
I don't want to fight. I don't know how to fight ghosts. I'm
Right.
just friends with one.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So Weaver put the word out that you were looking for a whisper, and the whisper has in fact showed up. Apparently, there was some sort of screening process. Weaver mentioned that the first two who showed up were definitely not up to the challenge, and she didn't give you any specifics. But the third one not only seemed to meet Weaver's standards, and since Weaver was paying for it, I think she got to do a lot of the recruiting. This one also comes recommended by Lady Freud, who is one of the people that also recommended all of you for a job a while back. So where I suspect the best place to meet this whisper to get her up to speed would be someplace in Night Market, right? And actually, Grift, as the one that knows Night Market best, what would you recommend?
I would say there is there's a bar in Night Market that doesn't ask too many questions. It's called the
best
Leaky
kind.
Bucket.
Nice.
And it's I mean, classic dive bar, literally a hole in the wall. Like, as Night Market is these big sprawling buildings that kind of are on levels and like blend into each other. Like, this is almost quite literally like just an alley that just happens to have a roof over it, and they put a door in front
Nice.
of it. So it's very, very remote, very dim, cobbled floors and an old bartender. But a nice place to go if you've got work to get done.
Right. Plenty of quiet corners, terrible acoustics, that sort of
Mhm.
thing. Got it. Well, in that case, is everyone showing up to meet the Whisper? I feel like if nothing else, Grift will be there. But
Sure, I will be around. I don't even know if I can keep track of Grift.
Yeah, if Griff doesn't want to be seen, Griff
I'm
probably,
fine with you seeing me. It's only if I don't want to be seen.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and be there because you have to have like an obvious person. Sometimes.
For reasons that will be that may become clear later, Weaver was not able to make the meeting. Weaver is investigating something else, and we'll get to that later in the story, perhaps. Maybe next session. We'll see. So it's the three of you, and you've been told the general description of who to look for. And so the person that comes in, she's slightly above average in height. If you had to guess, you might feel like she's got some Scovelander ancestry. She has bright red hair, emerald green eyes, and is wearing a very dark purple dress, some kind of crushed velvet. The dress is like 100 years out of style. And she gets the idea of which table to head towards, and introduces herself as Asperia.
Asperia, right? Yes, that's so you're the ghost girl, right?
She takes a seat. Yeah, that's what I've been told, that you were looking for someone that's in that realm, yeah.
Right.
Uh, I don't know how this works. Are we supposed to be in interview right now? Are you? I suppose. Uh, if we already had. This is the final round, right?
Right. Yeah, I mean, I've heard things about what's going on here, and if you're behind it, I want in.
Behind it, I mean, we're not behind anything. Certainly.
Absolutely not.
We're
if you
trying to find the people who are behind the weird spirit things. We didn't do that, certainly.
No, but that I can help with, yes. If that's I hate to bring up payment, but it sounds like what might be happening is up my alley anyway. So what I'd like to do is arrange for payment after the fact, so you can see how I do. If that seems fair, we can talk details. If not, I've heard nothing. I will accept my free drink and I will be on my way.
Ah.
I just lean towards Sharky, like sidebar. Is that normal? Should we trust that? Is it normal for someone to just say that they don't want payment up front?
And Sharky's going to sort of chuckle and like, well, given value of normal, it just means that there's a normal amount of things going on, and he'll smile, and Sharky did order a drink, but he hasn't touched it, and he will go ahead and just slide it across the table.
She nods and accepts it.
And he will say, I assume then that I'm sorry, what are your pronouns?
Oh, well, she,
I assume, Miss Asperia, that you have already another reason to be pursuing this angle.
I bleeding ate the church.
Ah.
Good reasons, I suppose.
He says, raising it in non-existent glass because I just realized you something.
And she raises her actual one to you and takes a sip and nods approvingly at whatever it is you've given her.
Thistle sits down and pulls out a very small wrinkled piece of paper and some very, very tiny for his face reading glasses.
I love that image. Absolutely love that.
All right, let's see. There we go. How do you manage pressure?
Pressure.
Yeah.
Well, see, what frightens me is not the sort of thing that frightens other people. So I'd have to say reasonably well as far as normal things go, but extraordinarily well when it comes to the supernatural.
What does frighten you? Just curious.
Oh.
Spiders?
Nah.
Okay.
Heights. Do not like being very, very high.
I'm just stifling a chuckle at that. Yeah, I mean, most people have their limits, I suppose.
Do you have any trouble? Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
All right. Do you have any difficulty with dealing with cases in which spirits of the deceased are themselves being harmed?
Oh, I don't like that.
That is all well and good. But can you handle it, should you find that to be the case?
Define handle?
If you see a great deal of something you find distasteful in that direction, would you be able to proceed?
Oh, yeah.
And like make sure the rest of us don't get hurt or whatever it is.
I mean, if you die, I don't get paid, so yeah.
Good. I like that. How would you say you would react to, how was it you put it, Sharky? Hundreds of spirits screaming in agony all at once?
I didn't get it a good count, but it's we'll say that it's something in that region.
Her eyes get a little darker, and she says, "That is what I experience every waking moment of my life."
I like lean to Sharky and whisper in his ear. She's pretty good, I think.
And he'll slowly nod and sort of we'll look over toward Thistle to see what Thistle's opinion is.
Let's see here. He looks at the tiny wrinkled piece of paper again. Do you have any questions for me?
Yeah. Didn't you used to work at the eel farms? I think I recognize you. Yeah.
I'm in and out. It's a gig thing, really. But
Oh yeah. We all got to survive. But I thought you looked familiar. Anything else?
I mean, yeah, sure. You hired? I would look back to both of them. Like, a week.
We're getting nods. Okay. Brilliant. So what's the job?
There's a rather particular location that we think that there is, and actually, I'm just sort of trying to figure out if it's safe to talk. Probably we'll speak in generalities at least.
Yeah. Though, as established, sound does not travel well in this room.
Yeah, that's true. That's
sorry,
true.
Room.
That's true. Room with 18 dark corners.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a so as we've already it's noted when discussing the church, they have something that certain parties are concerned about. They're not entirely certain what the thing is. They believe that it might be something they're using to spy on others. But there is something that is rather disturbing that we know about this, whatever it is, be it device or arcane creation. And that is that there are many spirits that are trapped within it.
Oh, they're using them to power whatever it is.
Yes.
Never seen it done for surveillance before. But
Yes, one would rather think that would be counterintuitive, but what do you think?
Well, I don't like that.
I mean, it also means that they're looking for us. And by all accounts, if the surveillance, whatever it is any good, they'll know we're coming.
That is an excellent point. So you'd like to get rid of it before it finds you? Makes sense. I do have one question then. Are we framing someone else for this?
Oh,
Perhaps.
we are now.
Lovely. Well, if you don't have any ideas, I got a few people I could throw in.
Oh, yeah, sure. You know, someone who deserves to wind up an iron hook.
I've got a very long list, yeah. Though I suspect you lot do too. Anyway,
Yeah.
that's as may be. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, indeed.
So, when do we start? Or did we just?
I think, well, we've got only a couple days before they move it again.
Oh.
So, yeah, time is money.
Moving into the we don't really need to do a whole lot of gathering information because you did a lot of that last session. But Grift, I will tell you some things that you know about that spot. Because once again, you live in Night Market. You've seen things come and go. And so the location itself, as we discussed last time, it's one of the subterranean ones, meaning that it's just in that labyrinth of shopping areas underneath the street. It's actually an older part of the city that was built on much later. So at one point, that was surface level, but now it's just had a lot of stuff built on top of it. So you know that this place used to be a print shop. It was called Cleland Printing, but it has not had a tenant in that place for over a year. It stopped being a business around the same time that the apothecary shop moved in next door.
Is there anything suspicious about that apothecary?
Yeah.
More suspicious than any other apothecary.
Oh yeah, well yeah. First off, it's an apothecary. Fair point. But it is called Dunville and Thorn Apothecary, and you know that Dunville is a rather it's a well-known name in town. It is the name of a one of the noble families, but it's not a common name, but chances are this could be some distant cousin of the of those people. For that matter, Cleland is a fairly well-known name. That used to be the print shop. It is unusual that no one else has moved into that because usually, even in the subterranean levels, night market storefronts are snapped up because it is the place to have your shop. Especially shops at this level. You know, the luxury ones are in other districts, but any place in night market is, if you can get it, is likely to be quite. You get a lot of traffic. Oh, one other thing that you know is that part of night market is set up kind of like a mall in that you've got the front part where the people shop, and then you have a back hallway where deliveries are made and all of that. And I will remind you that one of the things that you took as a crew was underground maps and passkeys, and which will instantly give you access to that back hallway. It is not necessarily, it's not hard to get to. And even when the stores are closed, or possibly especially when the stores are closed, the Bluecoats do patrol that back hallway too. But mostly they spend their time out in front.
Okay, good to know.
Oh, and it is a hallway that's big enough to fit a carriage down, because as we established, whatever they're moving around is in a carriage.
A thought has occurred to me. of if we wish to frame somebody. There are a couple of options if we
Yes.
particularly want to go in one direction or another.
Sure.
One would be, especially because they have that hallway involved. If we wanted an opportunity to get in a shot at the Foundation,
Whoa.
we could point the finger at someone with the Foundation. The problem with that is that then someone in the Foundation would then realize they are being framed at some point.
That isn't.
And
they might find
then,
out.
Yeah, and so that would potentially that could potentially backfire in that way.
They already hate you a lot.
They do already hate us. Another option would be to frame someone else who is in the church so that the church thinks it was an inside job.
Ooh, that's interesting.
And so if we wanted them to try to sort of tear themselves apart, it's a possibility as well.
Not a bad idea. The church is a big organization. Fair point.
I had the thought that if they're using ghosts, and that could be attracting certain attention from other groups, perhaps disguising ourselves as spirit wardens would get us far. They're the ones whose job it is to clean up ghosts. They are the Ghostbusters.
Oh, you're right, actually, yeah. And you would have the advantage of, the spirit wardens are already anonymous. They already wear the masks and the robes and all of that. So
anytime someone dies in the city, a bell rings and crows fly overhead to alert the spirit wardens of where to go to collect the ghost.
Yep, and then they show up in masks, and it is considered bad luck to make eye contact with them, which actually might help, because if they think you're spirit wardens, people are going to avoid you. Not a bad idea.
They're also allied with the church right now.
For now. That could change.
Ooh. That's an interesting idea. That's the thing, is that just the question of, well, could something like this happen without the spirit warden's knowledge?
It could if they were using existing ghosts, because the spirit wardens are only alerted when someone dies, and there are plenty of ghosts around. So if they just went out and kind of grabbed some ghosts and did this, the spirit wardens wouldn't necessarily know.
Not new ghosts. Okay, yeah, I see what you mean.
Although if they are making new ghosts, yeah, that'd definitely.
Well, I had a really horrifying thought then, because it's like
we can just kill someone.
Did they just do a mass? Did they just commit mass murder somewhere and then a bunch of ghosts?
They've made ghosts that have been around for a while disappear.
Right.
Connie said that.
She did say that.
Yeah, that's true.
They've been collecting loose spirits.
I like the idea of loose spirits.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is a lot of ghosts, and the spirit wardens can't get to every corpse, even though they try. Which means, because the point of the spirit wardens is to try to keep people from becoming ghosts, and they have a way to do that. But obviously, they aren't 100% successful, or there would be no ghosts. All right. Do we want to move on to the planning and engagement section? Are we ready, or do we have any more questions? I don't want to rush you, but just.
I think we're ready. I think we can.
Okay.
We could probably just kind of jump into things.
Yeah, exactly. And the whole point of this is to have planned stuff already. So.
Yeah.
Alrighty. In that case, one moment. Let me get over to the right section, because the first thing we need to do is figure out what your approach is. And then once we've got that, here we go. We'll do the engagement roll. All right, so let's see. As a reminder, the different approaches are assault, deception, stealth, occult, social, and transport. And if you need any details on what those involve, let me know.
I mean, it's either stealth or deception, probably.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
makes sense.
I would say I would probably lean towards stealth.
I'm trying to find the thing.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. So if you're doing stealth, you just need to figure out what the point of infiltration is.
I mean, I think that back hallway is probably our
Okay.
best bet.
Gotcha. And let's get over to the engagement roll. So, as usual, you get one die just for sheer luck. The next one is this operation particularly bold or daring? Eh,
I mean, they know we're coming, probably.
okay.
Actually,
I mean,
they may not know we're coming, but they have a surveillance device that feels like they should know.
yeah. Okay. I
They
think
should be
that
able to
alone
tell.
makes it pretty
Yeah.
bold and daring.
Yeah.
If we cock this up, they will definitely catch us.
Oh, they'll know exactly who you are at that point. That is a fair. Yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so we're at 2 dice already. I do not believe this is. The next one is this operation overly complex or contingent on many factors? I'm just going to go ahead and say no. Right now, I don't think that. I don't believe anyone has complicated this yet.
Yeah. I'm not even sure what we're supposed to do with the thing when we find it.
Right.
Well, no, exactly.
Steal it, I guess, was our plan. Yeah.
Well, and that was the problem with the Hive. They were like, okay, we think there's a thing. End of sentence. That was really. Well, no, let me rephrase that. We think there's a thing, and if it does what we think it does, we don't like it. See ya. And then they just kind of took off. All right. So, does the plan's detail expose the vulnerability of the target or hit them where they're weakest?
No.
Yeah, not this time. Though I'm not going to take away a die for the next one because is the target strongest against this approach, or do they have particular defenses or special preparations? Sort of, but not specifically against you yet. Right now, it's all kind of broad, and the fact that you're coming in stealthily is going to balance that out. So right now, we're still at 2 dice. Can any of your friends or contacts provide aid or insight for this operation? Yep.
They have.
Yeah, absolutely already have. Cool, we're at 3 dice. Are any enemies or rivals interfering in the operation? My answer is the same as last time. Not that you know of. But the fact that I'm not taking away a die lets you know that no, not right now. And let's see. Lower tier. I'm not going to adjust anything for the tier, but what I am going to do is I am going to give you yet another die because of when all of you leveled up and got new stuff. The thing that Weaver got, and she is still part of your crew, and she still did, even though she's not directly involved with this particular mission, she did get the special move that lets you. Let me read it specifically. It's weaving the web, so you gain +1 die to consort when you gather information on a target for a score. She already did the consort. It's kind of why you're here, which means because of her new special ability, you get yet another die because you get +1d to the engagement roll for that option. So you were at 4 dice, which is outstanding. Now, once again, would you like me to roll the engagement roll, or does someone else want to do it?
I mean, you get to roll so few rolls.
Yeah, that's a fair point. I don't get to do a lot of rolling. All right, I'll do it. All right, let me find. I think the engagement roll is over here. Although really I can just roll 4 dice, but I like this. There's engagement. Okay. So we do 4 dice. And you got a 6. Actually, what you got was a 5, 2 1s, and a 6. So that could have gone either way. Good news for you. Here is what has happened then. The four of you, because it is the three of you plus Asperia, are skulking around in the back hallway. You were able to approach it like particularly stealthily because of your access to the underground areas. So I think it's going to be. Oh, actually, Professor, you brought the Devil's Ear with you, yes?
Yes.
In that case, you're the one that figures this out. There's a pretty regular looking door. It's a big, heavy door with a fairly standard but not easily picked lock. But as you are making your preparations, you've got the Devil's Ear literally like a cup against the wall, listening for what might be going on, and you hear movement on the other side of the wall.
Hmm.
At
Does it
least
sound?
at least two people, at least two human-sized things are moving around in there.
Okay. And does this sound? Can I tell if this sound is coming on the through the? Is this sound coming from the ghost field, or is this actual
It's
sound
not.
of?
No, this is
Okay.
yeah. This is from the physical realm.
Yeah. Just basically quietly let them know there are two people.
But because you are starting off in a controlled position, I will also tell you that eventually you hear them moving away. But they are moving away. You have an idea of what the dimensions of the store are, and you hear them moving away through what you know to be a wall.
Ah, okay.
So they are moving away into an area that is clearly behind the apothecary shop.
Yeah.
As if this is one big area now.
Okay.
But you can tell, again, you got a 6. So you get to start off great on this one. Meaning that where you're really starting is in that back room, hidden from them, already having picked the lock. Oh, wait, you're muted.
I can start doing my sneaky thing.
Absolutely. And you get to sneak from already inside the building.
So, do we need to do our load before we?
Oh, thank
yeah,
you.
we do.
I always forget that. Thank you.
Yeah.
That is the thing that I just, for whatever reason, space on. So yeah, what is everyone's load?
Normal.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go normal probably.
Okay, and just remember how many how many squares that is.
Yeah.
For the record, Asperia is also normal. Well, her load is.
Right. I will squeak my way through the door and take a look around.
Okay. Just Grift, or is anyone following? With a 6, you can all be in there. Nothing wrong with that. Just
Okay.
FYI.
Yeah.
So what you see in here is it's a fairly narrow room, and there is a thick curtain between a wall that's been knocked out between this back room and the apothecary's back room. The light is dim in here. There's a couple of candles. It's full of it's got 4 cots in it. A few personal effects, a small basket with some provisions, as if people have just brought something to have for a meal while they're doing whatever it is they do. And you can hear movement on the other side of the curtain, but it doesn't appear to be approaching. It's not coming closer. There is a doorway currently closed that leads into what used to be the print shop. And then way on the other end, you just got a wall that is still intact.
Okay. Is there anything of interest in just the room that we are in right now, in the space that is not like through any doors?
Not particularly. Yeah, you've just got the door into the print shop, and then the curtain that goes into the apothecary.
Okay.
Also, this is after hours even for the apothecary. The apothecary is closed. But it sounds like whatever they're doing in there. Oh, actually, yeah, you smell cooking from the other side of the curtain.
Okay. I will just whisper to my comrades in arms here. Which way? Which way are we going? Which way are we going? What are we doing?
I'm gonna listen to see if I can figure out what direction the ghosts are in.
You don't have to listen much. Asparagus, similarly, her eyes go from brilliant green to very, very dark green. And at the same time you're listening, she confirms what you're hearing by pointing at the door. The door is not locked. It's just big and heavy.
I will use my. Do I have tools or something?
I'm sure you have something, yeah. Orcs have tools, right?
Yeah. I'll just I will try to oil the hinges on the door to try and make sure it does not.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As we open it.
Okay, not a problem. In that case, no need to roll on that. It just takes, it takes about 30 seconds to do that. And so, yeah, you have, and also because it's Griff doing it, yeah, you just get it open. The door opens. It still makes more noise than you'd like it to make, but you don't believe anyone heard you. Opening the door, you see a room that is much better lit. It's got full-on electroplasmic lamps in it. It's not bright, but it's you could read by this light. And the first thing you spot is, in fact, this enormous box. It's a cube about 3 feet, literally 3 feet cubed, like 3 feet on a side. It is made of heavy looking brass and very thick glass on all sides. There is a skull in the middle of it. And it is surrounded by swirling electroplasm. There's also some other stuff in the room if you want to look at it, but that's clearly the first thing you spot.
I mean, yeah, I walk into the room and I just kind of stop in my tracks.
Asperia does the same thing. Also, I do need to point out, there is... Okay, on the floor, there are 4 runes on either, on each side, each cardinal point. And on each rune is standing... Okay, it's a motionless person, implying that it's a hollow. And as you get a closer look, each of the hollows has a rune corresponding to the rune it's standing on, carved into its forehead.
I just turned to Asperia. Hey, what the fuck is all this?
I don't know. But it needs to stop now.
Should I don't know.
She goes. she kind of waves everyone into the big room and signals for you to close the door.
I mean, fuck. I mean, is it just the box? Is it these fuckers standing on runes?
If I get some
Starving?
time, I could figure it out. And she just looks at the ghost and says, "What have they done to you?"
Should we let them out?
Not yet. They will kill us.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Good.
As much as I want to let them out, I don't want to be dead. So, we've got to figure out what this is.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that seems like your thing, and maybe Sharky's a little bit. I see this metal.
She nods to the professor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sharky was writing some things down.
She points at the devil's ear and she says, "I think it works on a similar principle,
Yeah. That does it. As far
But-
as
like in reverse."
and transmits. It's an inverted field along an inverted field. And
Like a sonar.
Oh, like the ships use.
Yeah. I heard about this once.
yeah. Do we still have bats?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we got.
Oh,
Okay.
come on. You gotta have that.
Yeah.
I
would assume,
that we
but-
still.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think they're just a lot bigger. But yeah, you got that.
Like bats.
Yeah.
Bat,
Capital
yes,
B bat.
Right.
Oh, I don't know. Sonar's not a thing. It's like bats.
Yeah. We'll do that.
I mean, it's still.
I don't- well, yeah. I mean, you don't so much
I think
have
that's how we
whales
know
with
what sonar is,
leviathans,
maybe.
but
I don't know.
yeah.
Yeah. And sort of like looking down. Right. So, a couple of things we could try to do. Without knowing
The only
more,
other things in this room are 5 holes which are currently motionless.
Holes.
Holes.
Right. I heard holes for a second. And I was like, why would a
Why-
hole be moving?
Why? Oh crap! Good. We want them motionless. No. HULLS. Sorry.
Yeah. Okay.
They're
4,
hu-
one in each corner, and the other one is actually right beside the door you came in.
And what are you referring to when you say a hull?
It is a mechanical device that is it can be any shape you want, but it's basically a thing that a ghost could inhabit. And
Steampunk robot with a ghost in it.
yeah, it'd be a ghost robot basically.
I see. Okay. Is there a way to sort of figure out like roughly how many ghosts are in this thing?
You and Asperia
eyeballing
might be
it?
able to work together on that. Yeah.
And not
Tell
that
you what,
that's, you know.
why don't do you want to try to figure that out?
It
You
needs
can make
to
a
be-
roll.
I'm trying to think if that would be how useful that would be though right now, because really
Yeah,
you
that's
just-
a fair point. You
gotta
know
figure
right
out-
now. You know the answer is more than one.
yeah,
Lots.
enough. Many well, that's the thing, is if it's enough that breaking this thing open would kill us, then I'm assuming that it's a decently big amount.
You can tell Asperia really wants to let them out, but she also understands why that's a bad idea here and now.
And she said it worked on similar principles to the Devil's Ear, which Jim is still trying to. I'm sure Sharky understands, but Jim is trying to grasp that at the moment as like a. Are we talking about like that it's transmitting some kind of signal that's keeping them in there. Is that sort of what I understand that to mean, or is it something else?
Yeah, you're not sure, but I mean, that theory makes sense to you, though, from everything that you know about the elements involved. That is a thing that you believe could work. Yeah.
Okay.
Thistle. The smell of food is getting stronger.
I like to figure out what they're making.
Actually, I think you might be the best one to do that now that I think about it. It's got a lot of Eruvian spices in it, whatever it is.
Eruvian. I do like Eruvian.
But your guess is that whatever they've cooked, they brought into the room with the cots.
Well, just gonna pull out that rope.
Okay. Two quick thoughts about possible things here. Two quick thoughts about possible things here. We can either go away and try to look up some of this, what we know now based on this, or we can try something to affect this. Might be able to slowly bleed off some of the energies instead of releasing it all at once.
Do you need like a distraction or something?
It's a good idea. It would be a good idea if nobody comes in here for a little bit while we're working it out. If we go that route.
So, I mean, you say let out the energy a little bit at a time, but it's not just energy, right? It is ghosts.
It is ghosts.
So you want to let out like one ghost at a time,
Yeah.
to be clear.
Yes, and we'd have to keep it calm.
So let me get this straight. If I happen to murder anyone, will they be added to the machine?
Asperia says, not immediately, but it will bring the actual Death Wardens here.
Okay, no murder.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe murder.
Or maybe murder.
Yeah.
I mean, who better to actually deal with this than help deal with this than the Death Warden's accident?
Yeah, I mean,
Last resort, maybe, I suppose.
you're not wrong, but also I don't super want those freaky bird mask fucks around here. I don't know, it's just bad feeling.
Sure.
Asperia says, I agree.
Sure. I'm not a ghost man. I'm just a ghost maker, not a ghost tender.
I have an idea. If we just want one ghost, I mean, what are we just trying to let them out slowly? Is that the plan, or do you want one ghost for something to do something?
Well, actually, if we can, we might be able to learn more once one is out. But if we can reach a certain equilibrium, we don't have to let them all out necessarily. We don't have to wait until they're all out one by one. You see, we relieve enough pressure, then that might make it easier to let them out. I suspect. What do you think? And he's continuously looking back over at Asperia.
Yeah.
To try to
She
sort of
says,
figure if that makes sense.
it's a sound theory, but if it goes tits up, it's incredibly tits up.
What are your thoughts on keeping them calm as we slowly extract them?
There is no hope of that. They're already angry.
Hmm.
I can sense it from here through that glass. Also, by the way, all of you are convinced that that glass is the only thing keeping you from running away.
Mm-hmm.
Keeping.
Like normally, when you encounter a ghost, it freaks you out.
Oh, right.
Like inherently, like
Yes.
a instinctual, like this will make you like panic if you
Yes.
just see a ghost.
The default is freak out. there are a couple of exceptions in this group. Unfortunately, the one ghost that Grift is not scared of isn't here,
Right.
and Asperia has her own reactions to ghosts, but that's about it.
How much damage would it do if they... Let's assume for a moment that we weren't here right now. How much damage would it do if they did all come out?
Oh. An extreme amount. But what's worrying me is these hollows.
Hmm.
And the holes.
Wait, there's hollows and holes.
Yes.
Wait, so the holes are the robots, hollows are the empty people.
Empty people, yeah.
Are the hollows? What are the hollows doing? Are they also
Right now
standing
standing completely still.
on runes
On runes matching the ones carved into their foreheads.
in like a circle or something?
Yeah, like one on each face of the cube.
Okay, right. And the holes are what? Just standing off to the side?
Yeah, like in the corners, and one of them is right beside the door that you just came through. Oh, I forgot to mention there is yet another door in here
Oh, yeah.
that you don't believe goes out onto the street. Because you've got an idea of how deep this is. So this door leads into another room that probably then opens to, like, this door opens into probably what the actual customer part of the store used to be.
Sure.
FYI, I need to let you know that. Sorry. And Thistle, you're the one closest to the door. Sounds like they are stacking dishes now. They're finished with their meal.
Hey, Thistle, do you think you could just lift this thing?
Like the whole ghost thing,
The whole big cube.
It's real heavy.
and just run and just what? Just run with it.
We planned for this.
Plan for this. Okay, I will say you are convinced that you could lift it. Running is out of the question. Walking is possible.
But how many people could I hit with? Right.
Well, several, and then it might break. But yes, you could hit a bunch of people with it.
Okay.
It's big. It's like 3 feet. 3 feet to a side. So you're convinced that if you threw it, into a group of people, it would knock them over.
All right. Yeah, I took a light load because I figured it might come down to just booking it with the thing.
Fair enough. Okay.
Ah. Yeah.
I could give it a try. Let's see.
We need to get it somewhat.
So where am I going once I
That is an important question.
We need to
We
get
can
it
just
somewhat...
as long as we get it outside, we can say that we planned for it, and
Yeah,
there's
yeah.
a carriage waiting for us.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Is we
Absolutely.
just... Why don't we just have our own goat carriage? That
Yeah.
we can...
I'll tell you now. That's a one stress flashback. That's nothing. Yeah.
All right, cool. So the plan is I'm just gonna go, run, grab, and go to the carriage, right?
Yeah, I mean, I don't see why not.
Sure.
Does
Bet.
it look like the way the hollows are set up that anything's going to happen if we approach the cube?
Oh, it very much does.
Well,
Yeah, it definitely
Okay.
looks like that.
I'm definitely not
Can
afraid
I-
of that because I'm not to be trifled with.
You are not. Yeah, that part. No, all you got to do is push yourself because I remember the new special ability you got, which is the only reason you've got a shot at picking this thing up. So we're okay on that. But first,
Mhm.
honestly, Professor, I think you and Asperia come to that conclusion at the same time. I think what happens is each of you looks at the nearest hollow and then at each other, and then back at the hollow, and then at Thistle.
Can I set up an interference field to
Oh,
keep them from activating for
give it a
long
shot.
enough?
And
Yeah.
I'm going to give you an assist from Asperia. So I'm
I'm
going
also
to
worried about the hulls, but I mean, I'm hopefully just trying to keep...
I'm going to mark off a stress for Asperia for the assist.
Okay.
So that's an extra die.
That way...
And what she's doing is she is
Yeah.
At this point, her eyes turn completely black, like all of her eyes. And her voice goes down a couple of octaves. And she says, approach it from the northwest corner. She says this to the professor as you're trying to set up the wave.
Got it. All right. And
So what are you rolling to do this?
Well, there are a couple of options I would expect, but I'm trying to use the devil's ear.
Yeah.
To
Okay.
set up an interference field along the ghost field that will sort of at least temporarily sort of block any sort of signal that might be coming out, or at least interfere or nullify any signal that's coming out to try to alert the hollows and hopefully the hulls, but we'll see. And just sort of make it so that while that, just to buy us enough time
Right.
to get the cube, get out, get it on the cart, and get away.
Fair enough. In that case, go ahead and make your roll and add a die to it for Asperia's help.
So would this be like Tinker or Wreck or?
That's a good question. It's not really Wreck. It's more Tinker because you're trying to think. You're trying to, yeah. You're not trying to break anything right now or change. Well, no, hang on. Nah, I like Tinker. Tinker makes sense in this case, because you're not trying to make it not do what it's supposed to. You're just trying to
delay it.
Exactly. So make the roll, and I will give you information after that. It's going to be. This is risky. It's risky standard.
Oh boy. Okay, so I'm gonna get. So I have my 2 dice from Tinker, and I've got a help die from Asperia.
Right.
I'm gonna spend stress to push myself on this because I feel as though this is important.
Yeah, mark 2 stress. Good call. All right.
Yes, good. I'll give myself yet another die. So let's see, we're up to 1, 2, 3, 4 dice.
Not bad.
Okay. Yeah, that'll do. All right. Because I was looking at it, it's like, wait, should I do a devil's bargain? But actually, I mean, push is it says do that or take it as well. So I'll push this time, and then I feel as though the better bargains are to come, I think.
Fair point. And right now you're relatively low on stress. So yeah.
Yeah. So I've taken the 2 stress. Hitting Tinker, this is risky standard, you say?
Yeah, risky standard. It's not, because you're still basically in your element. It's just, and it's not particularly desperate by any means.
All right. Here we go.
Let's see what happens.
Dice 2. 6.
Oh, okay. That's a 6. In that case, the first thing that happens is you learn some things. You learn that this cube is definitely linked to the hollows, but not to the hulls. It is designed to channel these ghosts directly into the hollows. Meaning, if you let one out, at least in this configuration, it will go into one of the hollows.
Right.
And also because you got a 6, you did the thing that you were hoping to do. Tell me exactly what you're hoping to do. Now that you know what it's designed for.
Well, yeah. Now that I know that this is not affecting the hulls at all, do hulls have to have ghosts in order to operate?
They do, and there's a specific ritual that has to be performed for a hull to be able to inhabit. For a ghost to be able to inhabit one.
Okay.
It's entirely possible said ritual has already been cast on each of these holes. You don't know that, but it's not. It's not an easy process.
Yeah, but since all of this is contingent on ghosts getting out of the box, I'm gonna presume that, and we know they moved this box, so we know that, and there didn't appear to be anything else connected up to the box. Did there,
No.
or something
Yeah,
about anything about the configuration or something magically is? It's just
Yeah, all of the energy required to make this box do what it's doing is coming from the ghosts inside it.
Okay, got it.
They are also acting as an electroplasmic generator.
Okay, so yeah, basically this is a case of where, oh, this is terrible. And again, this is only really audible in the ghost field, and so I'm going to just I'm going to signal before I do it.
Okay.
To anyone who can hear in the ghost field, it's like cover your inner ears if you can.
Cover your ghost ears.
Cover your ghost ears.
Asperia puts a mask on.
Yeah.
You want to hear what the mask looks like? It's completely black except for one bright blue tear on the left eye.
Oh.
Cool. I am not paying attention. I am looking at one of the holes, probably a little too closely.
Okay.
So
I'll get back to you then.
I'm gonna basically what this is that I'm doing is, so I am setting up an inversion, sort of a, oh god, so I'm inverting the inversion field.
Okay.
That makes
All right.
sense.
So now it's just a field.
So yes, that's it. I'm flattening it out so that the energy does not, setting up a counterwave so that basically the energy doesn't come out of the box.
Right. Okay.
If anything happens to it, I'm just so I'm making it so that until we get it away from this configuration in such a way that it'll no longer matter.
Sure.
So that essentially it's like, how do I put this? I'm making the opposite of the sound so that the sound doesn't. Yeah, so that we get nothing. It's noise canceling. What I'm doing is noise canceling.
Yeah. It's a standing wave. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
As best I can through this thing.
You rolled a complete success on that, so you have nailed it.
So I'm setting up an anti-whale to the ghost whale.
As soon as you do that, Asperia's shoulders relax. And she doesn't say anything, but she's acting like someone with tinnitus that just stopped. And she says, I think it worked. Grift. The hole that you've been watching.
Mm-hmm. I'm just like looking in what would be its eyes.
Yeah.
I'm peeking around. I'm looking for like what would be a spirit core or something like a central component in it. Anything potentially that is lighting up or anything inside.
Well, actually, you do see a light, but when the professor does his thing, the light goes out.
Ooh. I yoink it.
As soon as you do that, you still have the sphere with you, right?
Yeah.
As soon as you do that, where is the sphere? Is it in a pouch or a pocket or it doesn't matter. Wherever it is, you feel it move towards the thing that you just got. Not dramatically, but you feel it just nudge towards the spirit core that you got, which is, I guess, about that big, kind of crystal ball sized.
Okay. Sweet.
And,
I stuffed that in another pocket.
Very good. All right. Let me think about this. All right. So, Thistle,
Yeah.
is it your plan to do the grab and run thing now?
Whenever they tell me they're clear to go, or I'm
Okay.
good to go, because they've got a lot of
I feel like you've been given the high sign.
tickety boo going on there.
Yeah, there's a lot of people doing things that you can't perceive. It's what's happening right now.
Like
Yeah. But yeah, both the professor and Asperia seem to have given you a thumbs up. Griff, on the other hand, is messing with a robot. So
All right, here we go. All right, so
Griff got a cool thing.
I stand up, not stretch.
Okay.
Now see the box. I may have to make sure I look for the box and look for a door.
So there are two doors. Which one are you going to go for? I am curious. There's the door behind which you know some people are. And then there's the other door beyond which you don't know what it is.
Well, always go for the devil you don't know, right?
Fair enough.
Ah,
All right. So here's the thing. You don't have to roll for this, because the way this move works is you push yourself and you do a superhuman thing. So you've got it.
yep. I just I stand up, I rush in, and I grab the cube, and then I Heisman Trophy my way through the back door.
Okay. So you're doing the back door, the one you came in,
Or
or the front door? The front door is the one you have not been through.
the front
back
door. Yeah.
Okay, got it. All right.
Heisman Trophy my way through the front door.
All right. While that's happening, what's everyone else doing?
I hear him like loudly burst through the front door, and I just like snap back to attention. I'm like, oh shit, we're doing this.
That's right, you've been messing with the hole.
And run forward to follow him, I guess.
Fair enough. Professor?
I have to keep the I have to keep the anti-activation field going. Or do I? How far do I think he's going to have to get before
Yeah, he's going to have to definitely be. You're right. You do need to keep that going. That is an excellent point.
Yeah.
No need to roll on that. You're just going to have to keep it going.
Yeah. So I mean, I'm gonna start moving in a to follow, but I have to. I don't know how close I have to stay, but I figure I got to stay at least somewhat close to keep this going properly.
Which means hello.
Hey.
Sorry, work kicked my butt.
Oh, I hate it when that happens. I'm so glad you're here. All right, so I'll catch you up in a minute. I think this would be a good time to actually take a break, but I need to cover one more thing. Unfortunately, but yeah, we'll figure out what Weaver's doing in a moment. So hang on. Thistle's got the thing and he's running.
Yeah.
Grift is behind him. The professor is staying behind to handle the field, which means Asperia is standing beside you and doing something of her own to reinforce that. I'll tell you what she's doing. She has, you see the field wavering, and one of the hollows twitches. And Asperia, I'm going to have to mark off a couple of stress for her for this thing, but she's going to go. Hang on, let me take care of that. because yes, I have a character sheet for Asperia. Let me get that. She pulls a slip of paper from inside her dress and slaps it on the forehead of the one that twitched. And she recoils as if she's been hit with a she recoils as if she's like touched an electric fence, basically. But she keeps her hand on it. And then she says something. Professor, she says something in a language you recognize but do not speak. And the hollow becomes still. And at this point, I think we should take a quick break. We should take a little time to get Noctua back up to speed. And then I think everyone's going to have to make a whole bunch of rolls. So we'll do that when we come back.
Yay! Awesome. We're going to go to break. Then I do have an interview queued up. I'm going to give a brief content warning for this interview in that we get into specifics of Greek mythology. And so there is, in particular, the story of Medea comes up, and we do talk about it a little bit. There is an aspect of child mortality in that play, but it's just a thing we refer to. We don't go into huge detail about it. I just want to warn folks ahead of time before I play this. But we will see you shortly.
All right.
Welcome to the break. I am here with Dee, and we are going to talk about games that Dee has written. Hello, greetings.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Just delighted to have you here. You have written several games, and I've been lucky enough to be able to play some of them, and so I just wanted to delve into your itch page here and just sort of talk a little bit about some of the games that you've written, at least whatever we can touch on here. I wanted to sort of start with these couple that you that you developed, the Hellene Heroines and Zia's Recipe Book. Tell us a little bit about those.
So those are the two games that I wrote. Independent systems. They're systems I created for these particular games. And Hellene Heroines is actually the first game I ever wrote independently. And it is based on a conception of ancient Greek mythology as it actually was understood, and rather than a lot of the filtering you get for Victorian and early 20th century's perceptions of what Greek mythology was. So it's a very interesting system. I acknowledge that it's not perfect. It was the first one I ever wrote, but it will always be dear to my heart. It was also it's unique because I believe that its focus is a lot on looking at power dynamics and how you can tell a story and have complex heroines, specifically because this game was written to address female representation as a heroine model. Yeah. But with also the understanding of an ancient Greek definition of what a hero was. And then what's important to understand is that in ancient Greece, to be a hero required certain things. All of the heroes of Greek mythology have a couple things in common, aside from, number one, they're all men. Number two, they're all somehow semi-divine. Either directly, we talk about Hercules, although he wasn't really so much a hero as like a comic relief character, and quite frankly was frequently discussed as being a comic relief character. And you see him, like one of my favorite plays, he just shows up midway during the hostess, he comes to this kingdom and the king's wife has died for him, and it's this whole thing, and everybody's tragic, and they're just finished the funeral, and Hercules shows up and he's like, "Hi, I want another drink." What do you mean I can't drink right now? I should be. It's hilarious. But so heroes in ancient Greek mythology have semi-divine, either directly or one parent being divine, or their grandparents or great grandparents, but there's a divine lineage there somewhere. And they're all nobles, right? Like they have to be of the upper classes. You cannot be of the lower classes and be a hero. And part of that actually comes down to an understanding in language of the word save in Greek is not used for an equal. A Greek man could save women and children, but he cannot save his buddy on the battlefield. You can't do that because you're undermining his authority, you're undermining his masculinity, you're undermining his identity. You can help him on the battlefield, but you can't save him. And this is really kind of an important understanding because it gets changed when we get into the use of Greek in the New Testament and then the Christian ideology of like Christ saves everybody.
Yeah.
But Christ can do that because he's divine and therefore above everyone. So Hellene heroines is taking those understandings of heroism as defined by ancient Greeks and applying it to a lot of these female figures, which were also kind of important, right? Like Andromache and Medea and, you know, some of these other women who are also semi-divine and, again, noble classes. Everything is about the noble classes. And so it's a very interesting story game system that I created. And the first adventure I ran for it and kind of wrote it for was a conception for the labyrinth, where the players are all trying to escape the labyrinth. And they all have major and minor benefit. And it's a die-based system similar to your favorite system, Jim. You know, it's a die-based system with different values attributed to different die. And you have this, you know, major and minor benefits that come from having who your divine patron was, who your divine lineage came from. Cool. And it really is a look on how that all kind of plays out and interacts. I love it. It's one of my favorite games I've ever written.
No, that's great. I do enjoy a good labyrinth. It's very glad to hear that Medea is getting play because there were things when I read the play back in high school, and I was like, there's so much more here that why the
because you all have to and that's the thing is I think that we undermine a lot. Hi, everyone. If you don't know, I also taught classics and it's my undergraduate degree, and then I taught high school Latin. And one of the things that we undermine for students is how many of you in high school read Edith Hamilton's mythology, right? Like it is the quintessential book in translation of like, here are all the myth stories and you should experience and read them like this. And it's like Edith Hamilton translated these in the early 20th century and she was a devout evangelical Christian. And she intentionally changed things because she didn't like the way it would have actually been translated. So for example, people are all like, oh, Hera's so mean and she's so evil. It's like, no. Hera deserves everything that Hera is a goddess and a queen in her own right, and her husband be playing around on her and then trying to tell her that she got to accept all these kids that he's been playing around with. And most of these people are mortal, by the way. What the hell? No, she is entirely justified in saying, no, you do not get to bring that here. I am a queen. I am a goddess. Bitch, please, no. And so Medea, the audience, what we don't understand, what a lot of people don't understand is Medea as a figure, right? Like she had her own history in the Black Sea, across the seas, where she is called frequently in modern, by that I mean anything post-Victorian translations, as a witch. It's not actually the right term. The term in Greek is a magic user, and that would be the best translation. Maybe sorceress might be a better version. But she's also a high priestess and the second in line to the throne. Like, the only reason she is not heir apparent is because she also has these certain religious duties that everybody in her kingdom respects her for as having these religious duties. And then this dumbfuck from Corinth, who's literally like raised in the bumfuck country and needs, like, his uncle has killed his father, he's hiding out, he needs to prove his worth, he's got to come into the R here. It's like, oh, well, we can arrange this political marriage, and she chooses him, right? Like, not only does she choose him and help him get the golden fleece, she then helps him kill her brother and her father, and then it's like, hey, I've cut all ties, like, I am, but she's not Greek, right? Like, so that's the big thing, she's not Greek. So when you get to Medea, even though Jason and everybody on the ship firmly believes that they were married, Jason is now king of Corinth. He's got political responsibilities. The people of Corinth are like, that's not Greek. We don't care what you said you did, but that's not Greek, so we don't care. And there's this Greek girl that you should marry because that will give us better political alliances with the people in the South. You didn't marry her in the Greek tradition, so it's not a real wedding. And so Medea's like, okay, fine. I'm going to murder everybody except Jason because I want him to understand how much I hate him. And depending on the translation you read, Medea killing her children was probably not actually in the original myth. So,
See,
and it's not.
That always bothered me. That always bothered me because that. Sorry.
It's not in Sophocles. It's only in Euripides.
It always bothered me because, and again, I read the play, and the play version has has that happen, and then moments later, it's like, well, I'm just looking at it, and I in high school, and I'm thinking, what the hell? This woman has dragons in her backyard, and she's on this much on the defensive. Something is terribly wrong here.
And from all accounts that we can figure out, it was not Sophocles, it was Euripides who added the child murder. Sophocles, it looks like the translation is best that she sent her children away. Basically, is like she kicked them out, and it's like, if they're your sons, because
makes more sense.
Kind of how it works. And from all accounts, Euripides probably Euripides that people don't understand is the fact that Euripides really was that level of not quite shock jock, but like avant-garde for the time and the place. And everyone in the audience probably would have been freaked the fuck out.
Yeah.
Because she goes away and then comes back, and it's a thing. Anyways,
it makes sense. It absolutely does. So in just a few moments that we have left, let's.
Yes. Hi,
oh no, absolutely fine. No, it's great. We started talking about Greek stuff. This will happen. In a few moments, tell us a little bit about Zia's recipe book, if you would.
So Zia's recipe book actually came out of PAX U 2019. I follow Dave Baker and Meg Baker, both really brilliant, I think, creatives, very strong voices in the space. And they have written one of my favorite games and a tool set that I like to use in any game that's going to involve romance called Firebrands, because it's a great system to highlight verbal and communicative consent, and even within roleplay. And so one of the first supplements I wrote for a published rule set was Among the Phoenicians, which is a Firebrands setting for between the First and Second Punic Wars in Sicily. And it had a lot of fun, and I enjoyed writing it. But at PAX U 2019, Meg Baker was there, and I wanted to go over and talk to her because we had been communicating, because one of the things I said is like, okay, well, I've written this supplement. I should let Dave and Meg Baker know that I've done this. Hi, is this okay? And, yes, it would have been fine theoretically because you can't copyright rule sets, but at the same
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
this is a very narrativist game where certain phrasing is very important. So it's like it's a free game. You can go download it. Mine is a supplement. It's you can go free to download. And so we've been texting, and one of the things that came out of that is a discussion we were having about. She was putting together this anthology of books about ethnic experience in food and how food communicates in just in general.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, because of COVID, really is what happened. The end of 2019, that weird discussions going on and all these things, and then we get to 2020, and COVID happens, and that whole project falls apart. So I actually ended up individually publishing this game, and it is a game about memory and traditions and food and how that is expressed across generations. And how, well, I'll just read the blurb because I think I wrote it much better in the blurb than I would.
Sure.
So Zia's recipe book is a game about the dishes that connect families across generations, be they family of blood or family of choice. Zia is Italian for aunt, but this recipe book can be from any auntie, mama, mother, grandmother, nonna, nana, tia, bobe, makuahine, kapuahine, or anakani across generations or ethnic groups. It is full of recipes that have fed the family for generations. It is a treasured artifact that connects the present to the past. But Zia never measured in cups or tablespoons. There's not a mention of ounces or grams anywhere inside this book. And you are to make one of these signature recipes for a major event. The story of how this dish is made and who you make it with, and what history you remember together is the tale you will tell at this table. And it's a D6 system that you could play solo journaling or with people.
Beautiful.
So it's kind of a lot of fun.
I love that description. That's wonderful. All right. Well, if folks want to find your stuff, where should they go?
You can check the games I wrote out on itch, ddonlin at ddonlin.itch.io. You can also check if you see me around Twitch, you can find me at Praxagorth Esmiophoria around Twitch, and my link tree is there. You can find me at all those places.
Excellent. And we must talk about some of your other games very soon. But for now, I'm going to throw things back to my future self, whatever it is that I've gotten up to at this point. Thank you all very much for watching. Take care. We have returned. Hello.
Excellent. And unfortunately, I have to step away for one moment. I apologize. I will be right back.
Go! Now is the time when we vamp. So yeah, I think the thing that was happening was that we're just sort of got a couple of us in the room. Still, myself and the Whisper, Asperia, and I'm sort of just cautiously starting to back away as I move the things on the dials on the Devil's Ear while I'm setting up this interference field. Thistle has to get far enough away for us to be able to leave.
Okay, so this thing is extraordinarily heavy. So you are moving as fast as you can, but it's still it's a moderate walk at this point. And as has been who wants to take the one stress for the carriage being out front?
I mean,
It's got to be a flashback, but any one of you can have done it. So
I think Weaver's the one who would have ordered our carriage.
that kind of
Okay,
makes sense,
I do
actually.
it.
You know what? That does make sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. Okay. Mark one stress, please.
Okay.
All right. So the and Grift, as I recall, you're behind Thistle, right?
Yeah, I'm walking behind well, I guess first, like, as Thistle bursts through that door, just like I'm trying to be like Thistle's eyes as
Okay.
is
Oh, that's a
as,
fair
like,
point.
a big box.
You can't
in
really
front of
see.
him.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Okay. Yeah, so you're kind of guiding Thistle, which is excellent. I'm glad you're there because when you open the door to the front of the store, you find yourself behind a counter. It's a fairly small room. It's basically just big enough for a few customers to come up and make print orders. And then there's a little filing, what would have been a filing area off to the right. But there is no straight line from the door that opens into the front of the store and the door that goes out into the street. So it's not a big deal, Grift. You can guide Thistle around the counter in order to do it. It's just going to be a little slower to get out.
Sure.
Also, I want to point out that unlike the two rooms that you've been in before, this room is dusty. No one's been in here for a long time. And Griff, you've got an eye for this stuff. You don't see any tracks in here. You don't see any evidence of anyone having been in this part of the store for months.
Right.
Good news is you don't have to pick the lock. You just have to literally unlock the door to open it for Thistle. So we're going to pause with you at the door, having unlocked it and about to open it, because that has taken long enough that we need to get back to the professor at Asperia. You are maintaining the field. Asperia has, hang on, mark up her sheet real quick. Asperia has done the paper trick with another of the hollows. And while she's doing that, Professor, you can see, actually you can see and hear, because there's not a lot of noise in the room right now. In fact, there's a lot less noise than there was, because what you're doing is not only suppressing ghost field noises, it's strong enough that it's muffling all the sound in the room. So you can vaguely hear the door to the back room opening, and you can definitely see it opening, because noise was made out here initially, and someone's coming in.
Okay. Oh. So I have a thought, but there's a question of time, right? And so I need to figure out if it's possible for me to do this in the amount of time available.
Okay.
Or if a flashback is in order, which might make things even stranger because it would be a flashback to a scene that we've already played through. But
nothing wrong with that. It's like, oh yeah, we forgot to tell you about this thing.
While this was going on.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the thing is, because I'm realizing that once I get the frequency, I know I'm continuing to make adjustments, but I'm going to I can be within a certain range, I would hope. So the thought is to let me see if there's a way to do this. There probably is not. But maybe. Okay. All right. Yeah, this would probably involve invoking a flashback to say that I've prepared a thing ahead of time
Sure.
to be able to do whatever this is that I'm about to try to do.
Okay, so what's your plan?
It involves one of the hulls.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I am trying to think if there's a way to. Okay, so stay with me here. My thought is that to basically to hijack this device so that for a brief period of time it is causing a distraction. Like, and not using a ghost, maybe using an echo of a ghost or a thing that's like a ghost. So
Yeah.
obviously it wouldn't be able to do this for a huge amount of time necessarily, but a thing where I could get one of the hulls to basically get up and go toward the back room, go toward basically the where the other people are, going kind of berserk.
No problem. Okay, I'll tell you.
To distract them, so that they think there's something's wrong with the hull, which there is.
Actually, you're not going to need to flash back, but you will need Asperia's help because she has, and I'm going to mark it off now on her sheet, electroplasm vials. Because holes run on electroplasm. Holes run with intent if a ghost is inhabiting it. But if you just push some electroplasm into it, it'll do stuff. Right, exactly. And all you want it to do is stuff.
Yeah.
So
yeah, exactly.
And we have established there is a hole right beside that door.
Yes.
So you just have to ask her for one of the electroplasm bottles, and then either actually, yeah, that's it. You just need the electroplasm.
Okay. Yeah. No. So that's the plan, and just
Okay.
basically work it so that the thing is. I don't know if I can move this on my own, but no. Yeah.
Definitely not. It's way too
Okay.
heavy.
All right.
But once it's activated, you can yeah, it's kind of going to do its own thing at that point. It's literally a wind it up and let it go sort of deal.
Yeah. The hope is to have it so that it's not pointed inside but pointed out the door. That's kind of the thing. So maybe if I can turn its head, if I can just do that, where it can sort of be looking in the direction of whoever might be trying to come in.
Actually, yeah, you can do that. Maybe a roll on that one though.
Yeah.
Just to see how that works.
Because I want to, or I could, if there's a way I can just sort of tinker with it so that it'll.
Oh yeah,
move.
a tinker roll is actually a good idea. You want to just do that?
Yeah, if I can just sort of tinker with it a little bit so that it'll be like, so that it'll leave the room before it starts doing mayhem.
Sure.
On whoever it's doing the mayhem on. So I have.
And let's see, this is going to be, it's definitely risky standard. There's no, because you're familiar enough with the machinery. The risk is it could just go wrong. Do you want to push yourself or do a devil's bargain?
What would the devil's bargain be for something like this?
That is a really good question. I'm trying to think about this. Any suggestions? Because I love the idea of a devil's bargain for this.
I mean, I have a thought that it makes it so. I mean, it's so that it makes it so that we can't go back that way.
Oh well, that's definitely going to happen.
But if that's already the case, then we need to add something out of it.
I mean, it could be like this thing will attack any of us equally, but I think that's also just kind of true.
Yeah.
You're just hoping to get away from it first. I mean, it could just be like you get hurt, it hits you. It hits you before it walks away.
Yeah.
That's not that interesting.
I've got it. Once it's done here, it's going to try to find you again.
Yeah.
You've bonded with it.
Yeah. Oh, great. Okay, so it's going to come for me. I see.
Yeah, one way or the other. If you accept that, I'm not gonna. Yeah, you are not required to.
I actually, strangely, I kind of like the idea, just narratively speaking. Sharky hates this idea, but Jim actually likes this idea.
I mean, that's how devil's bargains work. If the player likes it and the character doesn't, I think that's the perfect devil's bargain.
I think that'll. So yeah, we'll do that. It's going to.
All right, so add a die for that.
Yeah, it's like it. Wow. Okay, so it's just gonna do things until the. Okay, interesting. Okay, all right. Here we go. This will be great.
All right, so 3 dice, risky standard.
All right. Risky standard. And 1 bonus die. Here we go.
Holy crap. That's a crit.
6s.
2 6s is a critical success. So you tell me exactly what the thing does. You had no reason to expect that it was going to do exactly what you wanted, but now it does, which also adds perfect. This is perfect for the bonding thing. You've actually got us. That means that there is a brief period of time when you can actually control it.
All right.
Unfortunately for you, you will learn later that control doesn't stop.
How much? I don't know the setting terribly well.
Sure.
How much intelligence am I allowed to assign to this thing?
Well, I mean, right now you're controlling it, so as much intelligence as you have.
Oh dear.
Which as a professor of engineering, I think is formidable.
So here's my thought about how this happens.
Okay.
So, oh God, Jim. All right. I'm fiddling with it to try to make the thing work, right?
Yep.
And slowly, just basically working it before I fully seat the electroplasm in it.
Okay.
I'm just basically trying to get it sort of so its head is turned properly, and there. I don't know what these things look like. I'm imagining a thing not unlike an automaton.
Yeah, they are usually human shaped, but also usually really big.
So, what I'm imagining,
7 feet tall, often. Yeah.
Excellent. So, what I'm imagining is that there's a moment when I'm just starting to put it in. That there's sort of a little sort of spark that comes through, sort of on the field, and I have to make a quick adjustment in the ghost field to keep to keep things neutral here, so that the hollows don't activate. And when that happens, the thing, its eyes light up for a moment, and it does a thing almost that sounds like taking a picture as it's focusing on my face.
Yes.
And I'll say to it, all right. It's gotta go after them, and it repeats back, gotta go after them.
Right.
And the thing is mimicking me, is behaving a little like me.
Right.
And it's basically, it's kind of absorbed, it is imprinted on me. And so it kind of is sort of does this thing where it sort of looks down, looks at itself, and just sort of stands up. And so I'm just sort of like, oh, what? And sort of backing up. Oh, what did I do? And it repeats back, what did I do? And then it turns and it starts walking out towards the folks I guess behind the curtain.
Yeah,
or
well,
where
right
is it?
now, so it's in
The
the
people
big
that are going to be
room.
coming in.
Yeah, so you see the door opening. So do you want it to block the door, or do you want it to walk through the door?
I think it's gonna. I think right now it's going to. Yeah,
It can
stand.
actually knock. It can actually smash the door. Really, I mean that is an option.
Yeah, I think it's going to just be a little bit in front of the door as it steps out, and but it's going to go out and is essentially, it's not exactly guarding the door. It's kind of going to sort of aggressively come out because it again, it heard me say go get them, and it repeats again in Sharky's voice, go get them.
Okay.
And
In that case, it does.
It's going to go get them.
Yes, it goes and gets them. You see it go through the door, and you hear extraordinarily surprised cries from the other side of the door. And then there is some sort of melee happening in there. I will get back to you and Asperia in a moment, but now I think we need to check in on Weaver. Weaver, what are you doing?
Right. So throughout all of this, Weaver is not on site. She's the only one who's not. She has been setting up their cover. For this, we are framing the spirit wardens for this job.
Okay. And what are you doing to that end?
So this was the flashback bit. So not at this very moment, but during the preparation stages. Weaver has as we talked about this during the break, but as part of her fine cover identity, she has an appropriate costume for whatever needs might arise. So in this case, she's got a costume of a spirit warden.
Nice.
I think she is going to in the day or two immediately preceding the job, walk around in costume in the area at perfectly mundane times. Like, it's 10 or 11 a.m. in broad daylight. And, just walking down the street, nothing interesting happens, but she makes sure that she goes by an area where the apothecary sees her and like a blue coat sees her.
Okay.
And just like doesn't do anything.
Right.
Comes back. She's gonna come back again at a different time, like after hours at 9 p.m. or something.
Oh, cool.
And,
okay.
Yeah, and this time it's more of go around the building, twice or thrice. So anyone paying attention picks up on, it looks like there's some interest in this area.
Okay. Mark 1 stress for that. That is that makes sense.
Yeah.
And not a problem there.
I have one more thing that I don't know if it would fit the setting or not. So, is it possible for Weaver to actually have a contact in the Spirit Wardens? Like, would she know anything about the way they operate from previous contact?
They are really secretive. The best you could do would be to have a contact that you could have you can have observed what they do and have some idea of like how they appear externally. If you want to learn about them, yeah, you would have to know someone that knew about them, if you see what I mean, to do that right now. If you were otherwise, it'd be like you could do a long-term project to find out more about them, but obviously you don't have time for that now. However, I mean, you can still have some information about them.
I think I don't need to know the specifics, but just like how it looks externally would be good.
You've definitely got that. Yeah, you can. That's what would have helped with your skulking around and looking into things.
Yeah, mostly I as a player don't know if they tend to operate solo or if they tend to like go out en masse where like multiple people are doing stuff at the same time.
They are known Actually, you're doing it like what you're doing is probably setting up exactly the right level of paranoia. Because if you see one spirit warden, they're probably investigating something. If you see 4 spirit wardens, it's a raid. So what you've done right now is made them definitely anxious about why a spirit warden dressed like a spirit warden showed up. And one advantage to dressing like a spirit warden is people are afraid to make eye contact with you. So that works even better. All right,
Yeah.
so I will
think,
get. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry,
No.
one last
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
narrative. I want to say that Weaver is wearing beneath all of the heavy robes, giant platform boots that are like
Oh, nice.
5-6 inches and giant shoulder pads. So
Right,
it
you're
gives her a much larger frame.
You're
Because she's a yeah.
yeah, you're like Thistle as a spirit warden.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll work.
All right.
I love that idea. So you're a spirit warden people don't want to mess with for more than one reason. Like, oh man, that
Yep.
one's tall.
Looks big.
I love that. Okay. All right, I'll swing back to you.
Yeah.
But first, I think we definitely need to check in on Grift and Thistle. Okay, so Grift, you've got the door open. The carriage is waiting. Important question, and it doesn't necessarily matter either way. Who's driving the carriage? Did someone drive it and leave, or do you still have a driver in the carriage?
Does it cost any extra to have a driver?
It would have, but you would have covered that with the. Yeah, it's not like that's not going to affect anything that you haven't already done. That covers the flashback, but I'm just curious.
Thistle is hoping there's a driver.
Okay.
Thistle's like, oh, I don't want to have to carry this and deal with
Okay. All right. In that case, there is a driver.
Yeah, I don't have my license.
Fair enough. Okay. There is a discreet driver that you have paid well enough to shut up. So
A cabbie.
yeah. Oh, absolutely. Ooh, it could be legit a cabbie. I like that idea. Yeah. Ooh, I like that idea a lot now. Okay. All right. Getting it loaded into the carriage is not going to be a big deal, but Grift, when you open the door, you see a couple of blue coats heading. Okay, you come out, you're looking right at the carriage. Off to your left, you see a couple of blue coats on patrol walking away from you.
Right. Well,
And there's no way to put this thing in the carriage quietly.
You say that.
I just don't have enough imagination. Please enlighten me.
Well, I could do this the quiet way, or I could do it the fun way.
I like that dichotomy.
What do I have? What could I have on me right now? No, okay. I'll do it the easy way. I pull out my silence potion vial.
Oh, okay. No problem. All right.
And I smash it over the crate.
Look, it's a quiet box now.
And it's a little bit eerie because you see the glass shatter, but it makes no noise.
Yeah. And Thistle, from your point of view, you're at ground zero on this. Everything is like noises, noises, noises. And you are just walking in silence. Your footsteps aren't making any sound. Nothing is. And the entire carriage bounces, and you're certain it would be making a lot of creaking noises right now, but you are hearing nothing. Nope. The driver looks around because the whole thing is bouncing, and then goes, and they're like, takes out like a metal rod and then taps on the side of the carriage as if some way to like audibly test the structural integrity of the carriage, and then he doesn't hear anything, and he goes and puts it back. You could see the look in his face, like, well, I sure hope this thing still runs. And then, clearly, like his orders. Well, tell me what his orders are. What have you said to him about what's going to happen?
Yeah, Weaver, what was said to this trial?
Oh yeah, fair enough. It could be Weaver.
Okay, yeah. Weaver likes talking. I think she paid this cabbie. I would like to say his name is Greg.
Greg is a good name.
She paid this cabbie well enough, partly for his discretion and partly for unflappability in the face of weird. So he was briefed that there might be some weirdness occurring. Fear not. We are the cause of such weirdness. Expect something strange to happen. This was mostly because Weaver was thinking of the devil's ear, and she doesn't understand how it works. So she just thinks it's weird. But
that's fair.
That was the expected weirdness. She knew that there would be weirdness going in, so she tried to tell the cabbie.
Okay. I mean, he looks uneasy, but he also looks like maybe he's dealt with something similar before.
Yeah. And I think that I would like to say Greg has been working the night market long enough to have seen plenty.
Sure. Okay. That makes
maybe
sense.
he's slightly older. He's been around. He's seemed weird.
Yeah. Greg is inured to a lot of the odd things happening.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah. So actually, Grift, you recognize Greg, maybe not by name, but yeah, if he's a night market guy, you recognize. You've seen him driving things around.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, cabbies talk.
Yeah, fair point.
Call him Greg.
I'll just like motion for Greg to wait, and then I will like rush back inside to like see what everyone else is doing.
Okay,
make sure they can get out all right.
Greg gives you the thumbs up, and does something with the reins that seems to calm the goats down. And this is an excellent time to cut back to the professor at Asperia. Yeah, so mayhem is happening in the back room. You sense that the box is nearly out of range, but you also sense that it has stopped, implying that it's in the carriage. So what do you do now?
I need to get that thing moving. So sort of you need to get them to take it just a little bit of a ways down the block.
Well, Grift has just entered the room.
Oh, that's Grift. Okay, excellent, good, excellent timing. He'll just sort of look up, and you can hear it's actually kind of muffled when he's saying anything. I think because of the way sound is happening in here. So he'll just sort of Sharky will come around.
I think Grift is used to that. She just came. I mean, he just came from from an incredible silent area.
Yeah, it's loud to me.
Yeah, yeah, right.
This is like, is it on the carriage?
Yeah, we got it.
And now, Grift, now you can hear, even with all the muffling, there is something hellaciously loud happening in the back room. There's shouting, things are being smashed.
Get them to start moving down the block.
Are you not going to come with?
If I move, these will turn.
Sorry. Okay, fine. Yeah,
These will
whatever.
turn
I'll go.
That's it. In a minute.
I will I'll like motion to the cabbie to head off, and I'll just sort of loiter outside the front door casually, keeping an eye out, making sure the coast is clear for everyone.
All right, Thistle, where are you? Are you in the carriage or what?
Thistle?
Oh wait, I think there we go.
There we go.
Where are you? Are you in the carriage or?
I am
Where?
waiting outside the carriage because I
Okay.
want to make sure that people come out of the building.
Okay, got it. So the cabbie gets the idea not to just flee. He's moving it slowly down the street, and that does two things. The first thing it does is, Professor, it gives you this. You can tell from what you're doing that your standing wave is no longer necessary.
Okay.
It's out of range of sending ghosts into the hollows.
Yeah. Yeah. So probably actually just it's like the noise starts to normalize, I would expect.
Oh, actually, yeah, that is what happens.
So
Yeah.
it's like
Oh,
it
yeah.
starts to,
It no
so
longer actually
the cacophony
voice
is starting
coming from the
slowly. I'm
ear.
like, turn it down, turn it down.
Yeah. Fortunately, it's still quieter than what's going on in the back room.
Yeah. All right.
And
yeah, so that being the case, just sort of turn to see as it's coming down, to sort of turn to
Asperia.
Just turn to Asperia. Just sort of glance briefly out the door where the don't know if it's carnage. Don't know if it's just a lot of hitting things. We don't know, but a lot of sound is starting to come through. It's like time to run, I think.
and she says,
just going
to right, and she follows you.
We're heading, I guess, the same direction that Thistle went because it's because the other way is currently full of robot.
Yeah, that's a fair point. It does, despite the fact that you don't know what's out there, it's got to be safer, right?
Yes.
The hollows at this point, by the way, once you've turned it off, have started to move. They are shambling randomly, but they are shambling zombie-like now.
Ah, good. Time to go.
Yep. And one of them takes a swipe at Asperia and misses. So the two of you flee, and are heading towards the carriage. Grift and Thistle, you have both watched Bluecoats enough to know what's about to happen. They get to the end of the street. They pause at a street lamp, and that's clearly the end of their patrol, and they're about to turn around. And right now, they're like a block away from you.
Well, we're not doing anything wrong.
You're just hanging out on the street with a carriage. Fair enough.
Yeah, I can't think of anything to do that would help this situation.
You do know that they are likely to question anybody that's out on the street at this hour.
Oh, you're right. Okay, yeah, I don't.
They aren't necessarily going to be super suspicious, but you know, this is how they operate.
I put on my Spirit Warden mask.
Oh shit! Okay,
that I definitely have.
You do.
Flashback.
Yeah.
I want to help.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
Spider has a thing called foresight. 2 times per score, you can assist a teammate without paying stress. Tell us that you prepared for this. Because
Did you by any chance give Grift a
a costume.
nice?
We were
That's easy. Okay.
Yeah, we were just saying Weaver's got a spirit of Halloween stashed somewhere. So
Yeah, this will look really nice on Grift. Okay, very good.
if you want, if Grift wants like platform heels or something to help with the disguise,
That's up to Grift.
Yeah,
So,
Weaver
right.
could do that.
Yeah, sure. And I will like stand with my fake spirit hook, looking just sort of menacingly, and I'll start walking towards the blue coats.
They're far enough away and the lighting is dim enough from where they are. They don't immediately clock you as a spirit warden. But then the closer they get, one of them like elbows the other one and points at you and whispers something, and the other one they have a quick, intense conversation, and then they turn around.
Great.
At which point, the professor and Asperia exit the shop. Asperia immediately heads for the carriage. So let's describe the carriage. The carriage has a place for the driver to sit. There is an empty seat beside the driver. There is the cargo area, which would normally be, there are different kinds of carriages, but you obviously hired a cargo carriage because you knew what you were hauling. So this is there is the cargo area, which is taken up largely by the cube, but not entirely. So Asperia actually goes into the cargo area and sits like kind of huddles in a corner and places a hand on the cube as if trying to figure out what's going on with it.
Ooh, yeah. I should probably then do something similar. I would imagine.
Yeah. All four of you, by the way, could fit in here with the cube. It'll be a tight fit, but you can. But there is also that seat up top.
Yeah. Is the cargo still silent? Is that potion still
happening? That potion lasts a while. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll climb on top and be lookout as we're driving.
You're riding shotgun, as it were. Okay. Thistle, are you going into the cargo area or?
Yeah. I'm gonna sit here and explore the limits of this no sound thing. This is a little ridiculous.
It is weird. It is very weird. Which means that the three of you in the cargo area are having to communicate either with sign language or written notes or something, because the silence is on the box. So wherever the box goes, it's surrounded by the aura of silence. So yeah. So that may present a challenge.
Yeah. I figure I've got a notebook and like a pencil. It's usually like on me at all freaking times.
There's no way you don't. Yeah. So Grift, because you're up on top. I guess like you're and fortunately the silence does not extend up to where the driver is. Meaning parts of the carriage are silent, but up where you are, like it's out of the aura. So what orders are you giving to the driver now?
I mean,
because he's looking to you.
Yeah. Take us away from here to an unspecified third location that is not our hideout.
Right. Okay. But yeah, if you have a specific rendezvous point arranged, you can tell Greg to take you to that one.
I would like to potentially say that that would have been discussed when Greg was hired.
Sure.
Like you're going from here to there.
That makes sense. Okay. In that case, you just have to give him the high sign and let him know that the plan hasn't changed. So that's fine.
Yeah.
All right. So the people in the cargo area notice something at the same time that Grift notices a different thing. So you're traveling, and Grift, every time you go under one of the lamps, it turns off. And those of you in the cargo area, whatever's going on, there was a dim light already in the box, but now it gets brighter incrementally.
Is it cumulative?
Yep. Those of you in the carriage may not have linked it to the fact that it happens every time you go under a lamp, though.
Oh.
I tell the driver to go faster.
Okay. The lamps go out faster. I like Thistle every now and then just yelling.
When the silence wears off, that's going to be real bad.
Oh, it's stop. And Asperia still has her hand on it. And then at one point, she pulls her hand back as if it got hot.
Is it possible to take a look at this thing and try to figure out what's happening?
Yeah. This is going to be, what do you think?
Let's see. I have study. I have survey. I forget what they. Let's see.
I could see an argument for either one, honestly.
Let's see. Yeah, I mean. So let's see. Study is study a person, document, or item with close scrutiny to gather information and apply knowledge, gain a deeper understanding.
This is an item.
Research.
You could do that. Yeah.
Survey is survey a location, situation, understand what's going on, sense trouble before it happens, gather information about opportunities.
I think study fits more in this case. Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, this is just basically, it's like, oh, all right, hang on. And he's looking at the notes that he took while he was in the room at the same time, and he's looking this thing over.
All right.
So I've got.
Given the time pressure, we're going to keep it at risky standard.
Okay.
Because you don't have a lot of these are not ideal circumstances, and because you're still in a carriage, it's kind of bouncing around. Yeah. You don't have the advantage of sound to assist you in this. So if it was making a weird noise, you wouldn't know. But you still know your way around technology, which this is.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know if it'll help the professor, but Thistle reaches into his bag. He sees he's getting ready to do stuff, and he pulls out the occult kit and the tinker's kit and just kind of puts them in front of him like
let's see. Would either of those help in this situation?
The tinker's kit definitely would.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, add a die for that. That's an assist.
Yeah. Awesome. Excellent. Thank you. All right, I'll do that. All right, so this is study with 3 dice. Risky standard.
Yep.
And with 1 bonus die. Here we go.
You are rolling amazingly well. Holy crap.
I know what's happening.
That was another crit. Okay. Your professor critical success. All right. So let's think about this. Okay. You have figured out that removing it from the runes that were surrounding it is has taken away the safeguards. Meaning that it is at this point doing exactly what it's designed to do, but it doesn't have a filter anymore. Or not a filter, a regulator. Those runes are acting as regulators.
I see.
Only letting a certain type or a certain amount of electroplasm into it. Now, anytime it gets near a source of electroplasm, it's just sucking it in.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Also, because you got a critical success, you know that eventually it's going to overload and blow up.
Awesome. Will that release the spirits, or will it destroy the spirits?
It'll release the hell out of the spirits.
Okay.
You are of the opinion that it will not harm the spirits.
Okay, that's good.
It'll definitely harm anything in the area.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's a big,
It'll be fine.
yeah, it's a big fragmentation grenade at this point.
Ooh,
Yeah.
where could we put it?
Yeah. I'm just going to quickly write on my pad, just so that folks, so it's a little message. It's like absorbing energy will blow up.
Thistle strokes his chin.
Asperia brings out her own notepad and draws a specific symbol on it, which you recognize from academia as being a symbol that you put on things that are worse than a failing grade.
Ooh.
That is her opinion of what's going on right now.
Yeah,
So,
understandable.
If I could just get a recap of who hates us,
Okay, you know what? I can look that up real quick. I've got it right here.
like who hates us?
A lot of
specifically?
people hate you, as it turns
A lot
out.
of
That's
people
not
hate
true.
us.
That's not true. Several people hate you. I don't know if it's really a lot.
Okay.
But yeah, let me look over on the factions. All right. So what we got right now is you've got a -1 with you've got a -1 with the church. You got a -2 with the foundation. Those are the only two that actually hate you. City Council and the Circle of Flame actively like you.
If the foundation happened to have a building nearby the night market, maybe.
They do. In fact, they have there is an office of the specifically it's the Builders Guild, but it is it's a subsection of the foundation. The office. It's the office you go to if you want new construction, or to get approval, or to hire people to do said construction.
This will write
What did just piss him off for?
stick figures. Like draw stick figures, like building and like a kaboom and like a stick man running away.
Meanwhile, Griff, up on the top of the carriage, the driver is doing what you asked, driving faster. Not at a full gallop yet, but definitely at a quick trot. And he's noticed the lights too. What he hasn't noticed yet, you pick up out of the corner of your eye, largely because you spend a lot of time already sort of looking for this kind of thing. There are ghosts not fully manifesting yet, but definitely flitting around the edges of your vision. And this is unusual. That's not normally a thing, especially not in this part of Night Market.
I don't have anything to do with this information other than
I'm letting you know.
Go even faster.
Can you outrun ghosts? Go.
Get us the fuck out of here.
Fair enough. Okay, now everything is in a gallop, and I think it's safe to say that those of you in the cargo section have noticed this. Things are bouncier and faster now. That may not be good for the box. And you can hear sound again.
No.
Oh, no.
Clock, 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 clock.
So
There may be. Let's see if there's a way to And yeah, I know what I'm doing, but I don't know if everyone else has gotten a turn yet.
I just say, I think we should leave this on the foundation steps. And statement. That's fun.
It would be wonderful if we. It would be wonderful if we could just make it look like a message from the church to them.
It's not impossible.
I just lean back into the carriage and just yell, "We've got a problem out here, or a lot of problems."
We got plenty of problems in here, so it's like it's all copacetic and
Right.
Great.
We have reached problem equilibrium inside and outside. And Asperia hears the word ghosts and climbs out the window onto the top of the carriage and holds on to one of the those things you tie luggage to, just the luggage rack. She holds on to like one of those with one hand, and then looks around and says, "Oh yeah, dozens of them." Well, this is bad. And she looks as if she's about to do exactly what Griff did and tell Greg to drive faster. And then she realizes that's not going to help because he's going as fast as he can. And then she says, she asked Griff, "Where are we going?"
We've got like a safe spot, a meetups place after this. I think we're getting close. I don't know.
Because that's going to explode.
All right. I'm going to use my last load for a disguise kit.
Okay.
Now I'm going to start reaching in and I'm going to grab out a robe and put it on and a little hat. Look at me. I'm real churchy today.
You're extraordinarily churchy. Okay.
All right.
But was this blame it on the church something that we could have discussed beforehand, or is this an in the moment thing?
Actually, it legitimately came up last session, so it did get brought up. So
Okay.
someone said it. I can't remember who, but someone was like, "Oh yeah, the church sucks. We could do it that way."
Yeah.
So
Might have been me. Not sure.
it might have been. Honestly, it could have been any of you. That's why I can't remember who it was.
Yeah.
It's literally
it could have been.
So that is a thing that that could have. If you're using your last load for that, that's fine. That's all you need. So hang on. Grift, Ghost is coming. It's right now. It just looks like it's made out of really, really long spider webs. And Asperia, with her free hand, pulls out an empty spirit bottle. And I got to make a roll now to see if this does any good. So hang on. She's going to push herself. Because of... Okay. She's not going to be scared by it, but another thing might happen. So let's do the roll. Let's see.
As it's happening, I'm just gonna yell to the driver, we don't have time for this. Just take us to a fucking canal.
He goes, "To right," and heads over. All right, let's see how she did. Okay. Um, she holds out the spirit bottle, and one of the spider webs knocks the bottle out of her hand, and it flies under the street, and it just inhabits her. And her eyes go black again, and she says in a voice that is definitely not hers, "Ah, physical form again. What shall I do?" And looks at you, Grift.
Asperia, is that? I don't think that's you anymore, is it?
My name is Reginald.
Fucking hell, Reginald. I thought Asperia's supposed to be the one who knows how to deal with this shit. Fuck. And I will I'll reach into my pocket and I will pull out a Spirit Bane charm.
Ooh, nice. Okay.
And I just kind of like smack her across the face with it. Like, I don't know what you're supposed to fucking do with these things.
And then Asperia goes, "Fucking hell. Thanks." And then she goes, "Reginald, you've been a bad boy. You need to evacuate the premises immediately." And she goes, "And tell your friends to stay away too." She shouts louder than it looks like her frame should be able to do. And Grift, you see what looks like her just vomiting cobwebs, basically. And small drops of blood drip from the corners of her eyes. And she says, "Well, that was one down. Let's see if we can keep that from happening again." And, you didn't think Greg could make those goats go faster? You were wrong. Greg can make the goats go faster. And also, he's definitely heading for the canal, which is much closer than where you were going in the first place.
I had one question about the ghosts.
Sure.
Because they're all being either sucked into the box or following along with the box, they are no longer where they were? Is that accurate?
Yeah.
Okay. I have a terrible idea.
Okay, let's hear it.
So, in line with our previous suggestion about trying to get the church to take some of the fall,
Sure.
I want to know, because Weaver has that church disguise from our last score.
Oh, yeah, you do.
If Weaver puts on the church disguise, probably with some like extra makeup and shoes, so she looks like a slightly different person,
Sure.
and goes around like proselytizing, "The church has cleared the ghosts from this area. Behold!"
Okay, you could definitely do that.
And just like trying to make it look like the church is taking some claim of like, "Look, there's no more ghosts."
Interesting. All right.
Unless someone has like strong objections to this.
Yep, we're all good. Okay.
Okay.
And yeah, no roll for that. I mean, that's just propaganda. No sweat.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you're heading for the canal. Asperia and Grift are up top. What are the two in the cargo hold doing? Oh, by the way, every now and then a ghost clearly and visibly gets sucked into the box.
Okay, well, I've had an idea. And if this works, then this might actually help deal with the ghosts that are approaching us, and also some of the and might give us more time with the box.
Okay.
Maybe. And that is to figure out a way to remember how we talked earlier about slowly trying to invert the field so that some of the ghosts start coming out very
Right.
slowly, right?
Sure.
So here's the idea. We have ghosts following us, like a cloud of ghosts following us, which means that if we find a way to enact a principle of like attracting like, and begin a slow inversion where the ghosts start pulling out to again maybe pull the electroplasm level down a bit.
Sure.
Then I need to find a way to then just basically magnetize the ghosts coming out so that they will immediately be aimed at the ghosts pursuing us.
Interesting. Okay.
Launching some of the ghosts in the box at the ghosts following us.
We have our first desperate roll. The good news is, because you're making a desperate roll, you get XP on whatever attribute you use to make the roll.
Ah, good.
The bad news is, it's a desperate roll. So it's going to be desperate standard, because if you pull it off, it's going to work. But if you don't pull it off, it is going to be extremely ungood. So do you want to do anything? First off, I'm going to go ahead. Asperia sees what you're up to. I'm going to go ahead and mark a stress off for her to assist you, because this is the reason you brought her along. Is exactly this kind of stuff. So there's that. So let me take care of that real quick. She is racking up the stress, though. And then, hang on. Also, just what are you using to do the roll?
Well, I was thinking of tinkering tools.
That makes sense. I mean, that still fits it. That fits what you're doing.
Yeah. Which if need be, I could spend a load on fine tinkering tools if that'll help. I don't know if that'll do what needs.
Actually, it'll give you an extra die.
Yeah, and that's yes.
If you got the box, yeah. If you have the box to tick, go ahead. Although, do you have to mark a load for that, or is that one of your free ones?
No, I do have to mark a load for fine tinkering.
Okay, it's not in italics. Okay, just checking. All right.
There's only one item in italics I have, and that's a blowgun.
Okay.
So it's like can't see a way of using that here.
Not currently, no.
Assuming this isn't a wrecking roll, if it's wrecking tools, then I'd have to mark those off instead.
Sure.
But if this is a tinker roll,
yeah, this is tinker because you're trying to make it do something different, not make it, not break it.
Yeah. So, get the help from Asperia, get the tinkering tools.
You can still push yourself or take a devil's bargain if you want.
Yeah, that's basically where I'm trying to decide which of those I want to do.
Fair enough.
I think pushing myself is probably going to be the easiest thing here.
Okay.
To do, because things are already. I feel as though taking a devil's bargain while amusing, would only exacerbate things.
Fair enough. Okay.
And so that's 3 bonus dice. And that's all I know of that I can actively do, I think, at this point.
All right. Fair enough. So
I'll be rolling 5 dice.
Wow, that's actually remarkably good. So call that one Desperate Standard.
Okay.
And while you're doing that, I need to look something up real quick and make sure I'm doing this part right.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Okay. All right. Let's see what you got. All right.
Am I?
Yeah, go ahead and make the roll when you're ready.
Okay, Desperate Standard, 3 bonus dice. Okay, here we go. There is a 6 in there.
Okay, wow. Okay, that is a full success. And it is standard, so it does what you want it to. It does exactly what you want it to, though. And because this is a desperate situation, oh, by the way, since it's a desperate situation, go ahead and mark this before we forget. On your character sheet,
Yeah.
over on, let's see, Tinker is Insight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So up at the top where it says Insight, mark one of those XPs beside Insight. You
Oh,
got it.
cool.
Perfect.
Yeah.
All right. So that is one of the advantages of a desperate roll. Yeah, you don't get anything extra. So tell me exactly what you were trying to do.
So just very, very simply, what I was trying to do was to invert the field.
Right.
That the box is because that's what we've learned from very early on, that this is kind of what my device does in reverse, what the Devil's Ear does in reverse. So to invert the field, to have it, instead of absorb, to expel. And as part of the, but then doing something additional to it, either in just sort of with harmonics, I don't know. Given the set of the ghosts, I can use the Devil's Ear actually here, it possibly, to help me attune it properly. So that I kind of can figure where what level to set this at.
Okay.
As I'm sort of cobbling together, just very quickly trying to cobble together a way to control this enough that I can. It's kind of like when you get something near an electrical field and you magnetize it. I sort of the way I'm imagining it.
So you're trying to siphon ghosts from the box towards the other ghosts that are circling you, right?
Yeah. So basically, the idea in my head, the way that I would like this to happen, is that the ghosts smack into the other ghosts, and either, not necessarily, they don't have to start attacking each other, but they are going to, at very high velocity, be carried away, I would imagine. As maybe not, I don't know how distance and inertia work in the ghost field.
And you don't need to, but ghosts do operate by different rules.
Yeah.
However, the rules are close enough that what you are trying to do does work. You can sense, because you know what it looks like in there, that some ghosts are still in the box. But you have definitely removed a quantity of ghosts from the box, which is excellent, because at one point, more ghosts were coming in the box.
Yes.
So you've got that going. And they rush past you, which is going to be some sort of a roll for almost everyone involved, because you're seeing ghosts. So one moment, I just have to...
There is that, isn't there?
Yeah. So everyone except Asperia, get ready. Oh, and Weaver, you're not actually there, are you? So lucky you. So the other three of you, on the other hand,
great.
Yeah. Oh, although Greg has to roll. Greg's not a whisper.
Oh no.
Yeah. I just realized that. All right, let's look this up real quick though.
Well, we are moving. Oh, he's pointed in the opposite direction from the ghosts, right? Because they're following us, right?
He certainly is.
They're going to be sucked in the opposite direction from the way he's facing.
It's entirely possible that might give him a bonus. We'll see. I'm also trying to see if Asperia can do anything to help Grift and Greg. She might be able to. But while I'm looking that up, I also need to check something else real quick. Sorry about that. This is one of the things I want to make sure we get it right. Let's see.
Probably need to roll resolve.
I think it's a resolve, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like when Greg was initially given this job description and briefed on weird, it did not cover quite this weird.
No, not dozens of ghosts running.
We may have understated the the weirdness level.
Just a titch.
All right. So yeah, everyone's going to have to basically make a resolve roll.
I'm sorry.
So it essentially, basically what you're doing is it's going to be, okay, here's the deal. Here's what happens. And this is exactly what this is. So what's happening is you are facing a consequence. The consequence is freaking out because ghosts are here. The way this works is I tell you, you freak out because ghosts are here. It is now your choice to go, no, I don't, and resist it with resolve. When it's ghosts, your only chance is to resist it with resolve. Because that is consequences from mental strain or willpower. So what that means is, if you wish to resist, it automatically works. But what happens is, you suffer 6 stress minus whatever you roll.
Okay. Okay.
And so that means resolve, which in this case is not good for the professor.
It is not.
Because you have a 0 in resolve. So the way you do that is you literally click on your resolve, the word resolve.
You could always choose not to resist, Sharky, and just be
I'm
freaked
considering
out by
it.
the ghosts.
Although with that roll, now Griff, you on the other hand, only take 1 stress.
Great.
So Weaver's not there and doesn't need to make this roll, but I, as a player, would like to learn how
Yes.
this roll works.
Okay. So on your character sheet, if you click the word resolve, it automatically counts that as a resist roll.
Okay.
So like, yeah. So in this case,
okay.
you would have suffered 2 stress if that had happened.
Okay. And it's not the like specifics. It's not attune or command or consort or sway,
Nope,
like
it's
any of the
just
stuff
resolve,
in there.
which
Okay.
means
It's
means
the leftmost vertical line there. It's how many dots you have in that.
right.
Oh, okay. I totally missed that. Okay.
It's not obvious, especially the way the character sheet's set up. So like I said, bad news for the professor. The professor rolls 2 dice and takes the lower one. So
I
Okay.
have nothing under resolve.
or the professor can either attempt to flee, or
Moving carriage.
right, attempt to flee a moving carriage, or simply go catatonic. That's an option.
These are all good options.
And okay, so this will you suffer 2 stress. Not bad.
So if I try to resist, then I'd have to get at least a 3 on both of the dice in order for it to not go into trauma. I do not understand how. I have 3 boxes left.
Let me see if that's true. You have actually no. You have 7 boxes left.
I do.
Yeah. Those boxes under the trauma are still stress dice.
What happens when you go into trauma?
I don't think that's true. Is that true? That might be true.
The reason, okay, so what happens is, as you mark trauma, your maximum stress reduces.
Oh, right.
So you actually have 13 if you have no trauma.
Oh. And the
it's marked weirdly on the sheet, and it looks like that's the end, but the end is actually.
What is the consequence of marking a trauma box? A box that's under a stress box under trauma.
Honestly, like it's not that bad.
Nothing more than regular. Nothing. So it's just more stress until you reach the end of the line, at which case you have a permanent trauma.
Right.
And also you're immediately taken out of the score, and you are permanently scarred in some way.
I see. Right.
And then it does clear your stress track though.
Oh, good.
And you do have a trauma. You get to pick what the trauma is. You can play the trauma as much or as little as you want once it happens.
Right.
You're not forced to, but you do get XP if the trauma makes your life harder.
Right, but that's only when you hit the maximum, right?
Right.
Yes.
Okay, and so in theory,
the most stress you can get from this is 5.
Yeah, so I'd still be okay theoretically.
Yeah. If you happen to roll a 1, you would be real close to trauma, but you wouldn't be there yet.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, I just wouldn't be able to push anything at this point. So, which
No.
I think is fine.
Okay.
We're gonna try it. Heavens help us.
Let's give it a shot.
We're gonna see what happens on a resolve roll. Actually, and this is one of those cases where I don't want to take any bargains or anything because it actually gets worse the more dice I roll here. I think. I imagine.
Well, not necessarily. If you had one die, you would just accept whatever's on the die. In this case, you're rolling 2 dice and taking the lower. So it's like rolling with disadvantage in D&D.
Yeah, but it's like if I somehow got another die though, wouldn't I be taking the lowest of 3, or does it not work that way?
No. You just roll 1 die. It would bump you from 0 to 1.
Oh, I see. Okay, all right. I'm just gonna roll.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, heavens help us. All right.
Okay, it's a 2. All right, so that's 4. You get 4 stress.
Yay.
Yep, you are 3 stress away from a trauma now, by the way, but that is a lot of stress. All right.
Okay,
that's everybody except for Greg. I got to roll for Greg.
Oh,
so
no.
Let's see. I think I'm going to have to. I don't have a character sheet for Greg. Let's get a new one. There we go. I found someone with a character sheet that is the same as Greg's. All right. Greg successfully resisted. He only takes 4 stress. All right. So the good news is your driver did not jump off the carriage. The bad news is you were surrounded by a miasma of battling ghosts. The less bad news, we'll call it, is that they aren't following the carriage anymore. And Greg was already heading for the canal, and a few minutes later, reins in the ghost and stops by the canal.
All right, let's fucking dump this thing.
Is it still going to explode, or will it be a while before it explodes, or how?
I guess if we release the ghost, it might not explode anymore.
Yeah.
Or it'll just explode after a while. I don't know.
No, it's still going to build up. It still doesn't have the regulator, so it will again begin to build up electroplasm until it explodes.
Yeah. So,
but you've got a long time now, as opposed to earlier when you had no time. So
you got to figure out what to do with it.
Yeah, Asperia hops down and comes back in and puts a hand on it. And she says, "They're still angry. Very, very angry. But it's not as volatile as it was."
Right. I'm just going to figure out what to do with them.
Personally, I'm still on board with dumping it in the canal. I was fully supportive of just taking this thing, nicking it, and I don't know, selling it, using it to blow something up. I don't think that's a good idea anymore. I think we got not enough time to do something real with it.
Asperia said, "Fine." Sorry, did I freeze up?
Yeah, we lost you.
Yep. All right. Asperia nods agreement.
Fine.
Well, this canal. Quick question: about this canal. I need to. I don't know the map. I know that I have a map somewhere, but
You're still in Night Market, but there are canals going through it.
Is there a? Okay, important questions are now happening. Water moves through these canals. Yes, I assume this is still
Yes.
a thing that happens. Yes.
Yes. Dark, gross water, but water nonetheless.
Is this a particular canal that we need to know about, or are we still in a narrative space where it could be a number of different canals?
Oh yeah. It's not a specific one.
Does this canal by any chance head toward the sorts of buildings we were thinking about earlier? The foundation buildings.
I don't think this thing floats.
No, it's gonna sink straight to the bottom.
Not presently, no.
You want to put it on a boat?
Well, I mean, we've already set up a thing where the church is going to be at least partially responsible for this. So I figure, why waste that? Is the only thing I'm currently thinking. But I don't know. What do we want to try to turn this into anything? I guess is the question, or do we just want to leave it?
I mean, it's okay. It does tempt me a little bit. Can you like stabilize it or something? Make it not explode anytime soon. Let us take it somewhere safe and figure out a better plan than floating it down a fucking river on a gondola.
Yes, I've done that. It's going to be quite a while now.
All I'm saying is that I didn't want to be all churched up to not ruin someone's night.
Sort of nods. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
In that case, we've basically reached the point where you could decide to do a thing with it. And you're in a position where, to an extent, you can do the thing without having to really worry too much about, unless it's something, okay, let me rephrase that. Unless it's something particularly unusual or otherwise risky. But if you're just trying to leave it someplace that like it won't get noticed for a while, Grift, you know many places that fit that bill.
Yeah, I guess. Fuck it. All right. I know an empty train car somewhere we can stash it, I guess.
And I think what we could do is just have our friends in clerical garments be seen in the area. And they'd be the only ones seen in that area before what happens.
I don't want to make any decisions without Weaver here, so I say we just stash it, go talk to her, figure out what the fuck to do with this ghost bomb.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm gonna go find a dog and a paper bag.
What? You what?
And
a dog and a paper bag.
Dog, paper bag. Right. Yes. Dog in a paper.
And on that note,
yeah,
we should call it.
I was gonna say, the rest of like what you're talking about from here sounds like downtime actions. So that's it for the score. Do we want to do XP now or at the beginning of next session?
You can probably do XP on Discord again.
Because we'll talk about it on Discord. We can get that knocked out, and we can begin next session with what is likely to be a lively downtime session, I think.
Yes.
Because there's a bunch of stuff happening. So in that case, yeah, I'll get back to you on the downtime stuff. We'll discuss the other things. Oh, the good news is, no matter what happens, your crew only you're 1 XP from crew advance. So we'll discuss it on Discord and see how much carries over. But you're definitely going to be able to do a crew advance after this, which is great.
Cool.
And
Sweet.
then after that, we'll discuss the other stuff. But I'll send the same questions out, and we'll take care of those.
I'm wondering if I could build a timer for this thing.
Oh my. Well,
I think you could just attach a regular bomb to it, like a small one, and it would make it into a big bomb.
Yeah, I probably do it. Yeah,
I think that's the simplest way. I think
yeah.
you're right.
Actually,
Look,
that'd be
maybe
easiest.
we bring it as part of my demolition kit for next score.
Oh,
Oh Jesus!
That's not even a
It's
heavy
very
load.
large.
I love the idea of this will just carrying it around.
It's a boombox now.
Yeah,
Just-
right. Yeah.
In so
Can
many
the
ways.
professor
You could put some
Build-
straps on it, look like a DoorDash delivery person.
Can the professor build a regulator so it doesn't blow up?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. I think. Yeah.
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 You
So that way
guys,
we would have the
you
choice.
guys do a whisper now. You can.
So it
she
doesn't
can help.
blow up right now.
Yeah.
Not right now.
If we
No.
need it to blow up, we could time
take
it
it off.
appropriately. Yeah.
Yep. This sounds like an excellent discussion for next session. I think we're good.
Yes.
Yeah.
We'll deal with we'll deal with Chekhov's Armageddon box next session.
Fair enough.
Yes. It's an interesting idea.
It is.
So
You
much.
gave us a powerful weapon. Of course it's Chekhov's box.
Yeah, I'm afraid it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Well, so much. There's so much here. Yes. Well, we're going to go around and do our outros. And feel free to tell folks where they can find you. Feel free to plug anything you like and give any final thoughts you have for this session. And we will start again with our GM, Brian.
Yeah, thanks again, everybody. I'm glad everyone was able to make it, and it was really fun. We got to use some rules I hadn't used before, which is even better. But yeah, you can find me at Vaclam on the social medias. And these days I'm doing a podcast called Infectious Enthusiasm, which you can find most, if not every place that podcasts happen. So check us out.
Excellent. Excellent. So much is happening. And we are now going to head over to Hollow.
Hi, I'm Hollow. I played Thistle tonight, who might change his name to Thistle Chekhov. Anyway, you can find me here on Sundays on Other Doc's channel, playing Alas for the Angry Void, which is a reskin of Alas for the Awful Sea. And you can see me play a completely different character.
So very different. Very, very different.
So very different.
Yes. And now we will head over to Noctua.
Hi, y'all. I'm Noctua. Again, sorry for the terrible scheduling today. You can find me on Blue Sky as Noctua Magna. Right now, I'm only in the one other thing, which is over at Madeline Colley's channel, where we're playing Hearts of Camelot. That will have VODs up on YouTube eventually. So much pining. Oh my god, the drama. But yeah, that's me.
Excellent. So glad you could make it. Awesome. And finally, we'll head over to Speedy.
Hello, I am Speedy. You can find me everywhere as Not So Speedruns. I don't have anything else to promote or any other games that I'm in. If you have any games that you want me to be in, let me know.
Yay! Cool. And that leaves me. I'm Jim, and I have terrible ideas. You can find me at Other Doc on both Twitch and YouTube and most social media platforms. Wherever I'm not Other Doc, I'm Jim Yes That Jim. My website is jimmyesthatjim.com, where you can find my Geek Observation podcast and links to my various other podcasts, audio dramas, writings, and such. Down below, if you're watching live on Twitch, you can access my website, social media links, YouTube channel, and various other things. Sunday, we have Alas for the Angry Void coming up. Very excited to get back to it and see what happens post-assassination. Very, very, very keen to see how things go. And again, on Thursdays, we have more of this. So we have so much to do. So very, very interested to see what happens there. We do have some one-shots coming up in late April that'll be happening, and I'll talk more about those as we get closer. But I have signups running right now. I have opened signups for a series of one-shots in May of Monster of the Week using the Gothic Century setting from their Codex of Worlds. What this means is it is essentially 19th century monster hunters. So very, very interested to give that a try. I'm going to be running 3. I have never run a one shot of Monster of the Week. I've played in them. One of which was GM by someone you see here. But I'm going to take a shot at running them, and we're going to do it in 3 different cities. I'm gonna see how that goes. I'm just keen to try my hand at it. So signups are open for that through next Thursday. So from a week from today, you would have, if you're interested in signing up for that. If you want to do that, you can go down on the Twitch page and click on RPG sign up, or go to jimmyesthatjim.com and click on game sign up. Beginners are welcome. When we hit the end card, we're going to send a raid over to some folks. I think we are probably going to raid Happy Jack's RPG. They're starting a new campaign, it looks like, in Savage Worlds. So we're probably going to go say hi to them. Feel free to hang on if you're so inclined and say hi to them with us. That, again, is when we hit the end card. In the meantime, folks, thank you all very much for watching. Take care, and we will catch you next time. Farewell.